gamers ruin games. It seems like a lot of competitive players and casual players have a lot of sway over the development over the course of like a year or multiple years of a video game in terms of like how things are patched, tweaked, taken out of the game, like the respawn or revive system in Apex Legends. Now, if you somehow complain about this and say that you're losing more games because of it, you suck. Like, just, I don't like the get good argument, but you suck. Get good. I mean, it's something that appears to take a very long time. But it shouldn't be taken out of the game because a small portion of players are complaining about how it's actually played. It's a good mechanic to have, especially in the later points of the match. Maybe if you decided to take it out at the later stages of the match, sure, whatever, I don't know. That's just kind of a quick little thing. I don't play Apex Legends. I personally am not a big kind of player that it doesn't really cater to my kind of play. Maybe I will try it at some point, but besides that, I just don't like developers catering to one side of the spectrum to the other. It should be the overall. You should be able to look at your own game and say, this doesn't really work. Now, I don't think the revive system that's currently in Apex Legends, based off what I see, is something that really hurts the game. If it takes that long to revive yourself, that's ridiculous. Like, that's like as balanced as it gets. It's not something that someone can revive themselves and pop up. Like in Call of Duty, for instance, if you're playing like, I don't know, Rebirth Island or whatever those fast-paced modes are. It's not like one of those where you're up pretty much in a few seconds if someone's not paying attention or they take you out from a long, distance. And I think it's not like something that the developers should listen to the competitive players and go, well, to break the core fundamentals of the game. Like, shut the fuck up. It's not that big of a deal. But, like, an argument that I saw in the video that kind of inspired this video from Trooper, who I've watched every now and then, and I do respect his opinion. I get where he's coming from. But the get good argument is a stupid argument. Like, it's a very dumb, awful argument. If it's something that doesn't break the core fundamentals of the game, then it shouldn't be touched. But, in the thing that he mentioned, which was how back in the day, the battle rifle and plasma pistol back in Halo 2 was something that people would just deal with and no one complained about. Like, imagine if they did, that it didn't matter. Like, people just dealt with it and got good. But that's in a year when Twitter didn't exist, YouTube didn't exist, a lot of these social media platforms did not exist. So there probably were forums that existed, but I don't think many people had that outlet to really complain to the developers and talk to the developers like they do now. I think it really does help that these things do exist now to help. So I think at the end of the day, what matters the most is if the battle rifle plasma pistol, if we're using that argument, was broken. I mean, I do vaguely remember that not being very fun to go up against, but the developers should be patching those things. If it's something that's breaking the core fundamentals of the game, or is just breaking the game in general, or is the most overpowered thing, then yeah, you probably should do it. The thing that was brought up was the Jaeger scope, or ACOG scope. I remember being a Rainbow Six Siege player at one point. I haven't played Rainbow Six Siege in a long time. I will be honest, it was very fun to use the Jaeger ACOG scope to spawn peek, but like, spawn peeking is not a great thing. It really hurts the core fundamentals of the game. The whole point of the game is for the attackers to get into the building and actually do things. Like, actually, like, I don't know, break barriers, break gadgets, fight in close quarters combat, not get taken out from miles away by a guy who has a massive helmet, probably the size of the monitor I'm using, to just take someone out and then they're dead the whole match and have to watch everyone else play. That's breaking the core fundamentals of the game. That's not what the game is meant to be. It's meant to be a close quarters combat shooter where people break barriers, sneak in, and use tactical maneuvers to get in, not get spawn peeked by some asshole. So I don't think that's the best argument, but I also agree that I think there are a lot of times, I mentioned this in a couple other previous videos, that it feels like it's sometimes that the developers do pay attention more towards like casual play in terms of skill-based matchmaking and stuff like that, where I don't think that's necessarily the best system at all. And I think that hurts the overall game, where there's players who just do want to casually play, get into lobbies, talk some trash and whatever else after a work day, and just play the game, because they're not going to spend money. But the people that are spending money are your kind of more hardcore players, and then there's your competitive players who are obviously spending money, because your hardcore players are the ones that are coming back every single day, day in and day out, and enjoying the game, spending money, buying skins, everything else. Your casual player may not buy them. He may come in for a few matches. He may just play for 1 month, then go, I'm going back to playing, I don't know, Skyrim or some junk. So I really don't understand it. I think the get good argument is a awful argument. It's yes, get good at the game that you do enjoy, and if you want to get better at it, fine, you can do that based off of what's in the game. But you should at least, if things come up that are like extremely broken, like, I don't know, like an ACOG Jaeger asshole, then yes, then I do recommend complaining to the developer and stating your facts and opinions and whatever else, because that does hurt the core fundamentals of the game. But something as simple as this Apex Legends revive system being tweaked, that's just on the player. That's like, you suck if you have to complain about that. I mean, that's like ridiculous to complain about. It doesn't break anything, at least that I see. Even in the later stages, I don't think it really hurts it that much. I don't know. So that's where I feel like the whole entire thing kind of comes up. So I want to know what you think. I know this is a very different video than what I typically have been doing, but I do want to at least talk about it because it's a very opinionated thing. Do you believe that gamers are hurting games, or do you feel as though that everything's fine and that people should just get good at the game? I don't know. I want to know what people think in the comment section below, because it is a very different kind of idea, and it's a very opinionated thing, because there are people that seem to have very different opinions on these things. It's a very weird topic. So I want to know what you think in the comment section below. And thanks for watching if you got this far, and well,